What is up, everybody? It is me, Duke Farley, back at it again here on Lost at Sea, and I am joined again by draft team owner of the Descendants, Scott, for the second time this season. And we're here to talk about this past episode. What is up, Scott? How have you been since we last spoke?
I am doing good. I don't remember how long it's been, but pretty much same old over here. Nothing, nothing new to write home about. But enjoying the season nonetheless, even though my life isn't that exciting. It's been an exciting season thus far.
I noticed on your Instagram story recently that you got your first muscle up. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. I'm actually wearing my gym shirt. So thank you so much. Appreciate the support and the follow.
No
And the
problem.
message you sent me. Thank you.
Absolutely. I don't think I can do a muscle up, so that was impressive to watch. But anyway, let's jump into Ascendance here. Great
I
episode.
was gonna say it's a nice segue into everyone just complaining about fitness in the entire season.
A lot of endurance challenges for sure. No real muscle ups having to be done, but a lot of running. Another running challenge tonight, a little bit. But first there was the touchy subjects. Touchy subjects, survivor staple. I don't know if Big Brother does it, but Ascendance does it a lot. Anything standing out to you in terms of answers or people being perceptive?
I'm with Taisha on this one. I don't love touchy subjects. I feel like I'm not like, it doesn't mean that much to me. I never really have a good read on what the answers are either. I think I probably got like last place whenever I did it in my Ascendance season. Nothing crazy stood out to me. I guess one of the ones that stood out to me was Zoe, and I think it was Zoe and Drew got the most likely to get All Stars. And I feel like Zoe has been playing like kind of not so in your face. And so that one kind of surprised me. I think that she's been playing well, and I don't, maybe it's just my perception as a viewer rather than actually being there, but she didn't seem like she's like someone that people are like, oh, she is like an all-star in the sense of like playing really aggressively. So that one kind of surprised me. And I don't know, I mean, maybe you can help me out with this one because I don't know all of the pre-game connections and stuff, but do a lot of people know her from past experiences? Is that where that's coming from? Or
I don't think so. I think that Zoe was only known by Keaton, but yeah, that was interesting for me to see that too. You would have thought that that would have been an answer like somebody more out there.
Mhm.
Whereas Zoe seems to be playing, she's in the majority, a lot like the strong alliance of the season. So maybe her allies voted for her. I don't know.
That's true too. I do think that she doesn't seem to, she's a little unflappable. Whenever people are coming at her with your name's getting thrown out, she's not going crazy like some others might be. So I think that maybe people are catching on to that because I feel like her name's been thrown out here and there once or twice throughout the season, but she's never gone wild.
No, never gone wild. And you think that touchy subjects overall is just kind of like overhyped? Like people take too much, like think of it like too much of like put too much weight into it, basically.
Uh yeah. I just I don't know. I feel like I want to make my own reads on people rather than just go with a general vote because I feel like if it's the final nine, there's still so much game left. So to base a decision on how people like what the temperature is in the game at the final nine is going to be so different than what it's going to be at the final four, final five. It's ever changing and ever shifting. So looking at someone that's a huge target at the final nine, I don't think that it necessarily means that if they make it to the end, they're going to win. So it's not something that I would read into that much. So I think it's a little short-sighted to base immediate decisions on something that might have come up in that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see Drew kind of in his confessional be like, oh, you know, Really great to get
How,
that one,
how am I
but
going to survive this? No, I
maybe
don't
a little
think.
bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, I would say so.
Um, but it ends up being a 3-person captain at the final 9. They break a tiebreaker with Drew. Drew wins the tiebreaker, so he's the 3rd captain. And then Hot Girl Chris and Thomas are the ones that were the most perceptive. Um, and they're not safe. So they pick teams. What do you think? What do you think about that? You think they should have been safe or nah?
I think that it would be too few of people to have them be safe. Uh, just because I mean 3 is a small number of people, and having like a vote of 6 with 2 people safe would be a little bit chaotic. So I don't know, it could have been interesting if they were safe, but I think that it was fine that they weren't. I feel like it would have been. I also was thinking that there was going to be some sort of immunity type thing within the challenge. Like I thought that would have been interesting if somewhere planted there was like you can, I don't know, like your team, if you take this immunity, your team automatically loses, but you're safe. Little
Oh.
little stir in the pot. I thought that could have been rather interesting. I was in my head, I was like, that would be cool if that happened, but
Next
maybe season 3.
maybe they'll watch this, put that in a season 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Nicole, Papa, take some notes.
we know you're watching.
We know you're watching.
Yeah, so they were not safe. Kind of would have sucked if one of those guys would have went home after winning captain, though, right?
Yes, it would have. I'm putting myself in their shoes, and I would have been pissed personally. But I mean, it's all part of the game. Every round is obviously different, and you're not going to get guarantee safety every time. So I think that it's a nice little twist because the individual game is definitely looming, and I think that maybe as early as next week. I mean, there's only 8 left, correct? So I feel like
Yep.
that has to be coming up if it's not going to be in this next episode.
Yeah, I've been speculating a couple weeks prior that maybe individuals was this week, maybe last week, but was wrong both times. So maybe next week. I wanted to ask you, it was kind of interesting seeing all the captains, like the way they were choosing their teams. You had Thomas that wanted to get close to Jodie, and then chose Kennedy as a potential target. And then there was Hot Girl Chris that said, he didn't really have a strategy with picking his team. Just wanted to pick people that he liked.
Surprise of the century.
So what did you think of like the contrast in strategy there?
That is not surprising to me at all because Thomas is so tactful and what he's doing always has something else. There's always something in the back of his mind coming in. Hot Girl Chris to see like, I like them. I was actually the most surprising thing about Hot Girl Chris is that he won the challenge. Like finally something was in his wheelhouse that he didn't have to like run and go get.
Yeah, so the team, then we go into this group challenge, kind of like a 3-legged relay race, kind of with a logic puzzle. And a lot of 3 different roles. Which role would you have preferred to be in here? The problem solver or the shouter or the person in between?
I think that I would have done not the shouter. The other 2 I think I could have been fine at, but the shouter didn't really do too much.
Right.
But I feel like that would be the one that I wouldn't want to, just because I would want to have a little bit more of control in my fate. How about you?
I probably would have went for the shouter, honestly.
We're a good team. We just need a third.
Yeah, we'll figure that out when we play.
We complete each other.
Just need that connector. But it was kind of a fun challenge, something that I've never seen before. Good to get that out there and kind of watch. It seems like Kennedy's team really killed it there. And was able to solve that logic problem real quick. So
Yeah, I really did like the challenge. I thought it was good, especially in this round because it was obviously smaller teams. So it was cool that were able to pick their own positions, and then I just feel like it was very competitive because with a logic puzzle, something happens in your mind and just clicks. So it really could have been anyone's race and anyone's race to win, and they just pulled it out. I'm not surprised though. Kennedy's really proven to be a strong competitor.
Challenge beast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this, but I was just thinking about it while you were talking. The right when they're lining up and they're picking roles, and Papa's like, "All right, who's doing this?" It's kind of fun. They all just like stepped forward all in unison. It's like they planned it.
Oh,
It's like,
really? I didn't notice that.
it's like that was a little weird, but kind of cool too.
It's like warriors getting ready for battle, like,
Yeah, but a puzzle.
but a puzzle.
Um, so it turns out the two losing teams are going to be going to a joint elimination. So we have 6 people that could be eliminated here. A lot of fluff, it seems like, in this strategy portion. A lot of the edit made you want to believe Marvin wasn't getting voted out, but ultimately Marvin was getting voted out, right?
Yeah, a little predictable for the 40 minutes or whatever it was. I was like, oh, this feels like a Marvin vote. And it just like kept like just kind of waiting for it to happen. And then it was like, what was it, 5-0? I guess Erica
5-0.
used her blog?
I'm going to ask you about that. Kind of a little overkill there, right? Like
Yeah.
she had
And
it,
then
it was there.
Girl Chris also played a power. It's like from the viewer standpoint. And then a bunch of people were like, I'm very nervous about this vote. I was like, really?
Are you?
Why? Why is that? Can you explain to me what made you nervous about this vote? It seemed pretty apparent to me. I don't know. But yeah, 2 powers played on the 5-0 Marvin vote.
Marvin's been the
Really
center of a lot of powers.
they
So it's
really
like,
fear him.
I mean, as they should have, right? He had the pendant. He had another power. He had a
Uh,
somewhere other power.
I
But
know.
I
I
guess he used
feel
it one round too early.
it's tough to watch, the immediacy of finding out that you needed it. And whenever probably in the game, I don't know how long the rounds last, but maybe like 30 minutes, he was like, sure could use that now. Poor
Yeah.
guy.
He and like it's tough to hear a lot of what's going on in like the conversations other than the confessionals I've noticed. But it seems like he was leaning on, Hot Girl Chris and potentially Taisha to save him, like be the people that voted with him at least. And they kind of were dead set from the beginning, like not gonna do that.
It seemed like they might have been interested, but it's just there wasn't anyone else to really push it on, I think. And Marvin even said that he got to the point where he was just throwing names out because I feel like Erica is in a really solid spot, and that wouldn't have been the name that I would have pushed if I was in his position, because I just don't think people really would band together to take her out. So I thought that was an interesting choice to go after her.
Who could he have gone after? I mean, I mean, he doesn't know this
Yeah.
like in the game at this point, but there's 3 people in that one alliance. So it seems like Taisha, Drew, and Zoe are not gonna kind of budge on that alliance. At least there's been no hint of that at all yet. And then Erica is pretty close in with them. So I guess the name might have been to go for Hot Girl Chris.
Yeah.
But it seems like nobody wants to
It,
vote
there
Hot Girl
wasn't,
Chris
yeah,
out.
there wasn't really much that he could do other than win the first challenge or the second one. Like he really needed to win. Yeah, tough spot. And I think that people are so focused on him winning challenges that I don't know. For me, I think that he would have been a great person to vote off once they do it the individual. But I guess Kennedy is there. But if you have them both in there, then you can take one of them out of the individual portion. They obviously played their power, so it could have been a moment to break up the alliance a little bit, but I don't know.
Or take out Hot Girl Chris, and then you still have your alliance, and then you still have a known like
Duo.
duo force in the game that's like a house target amongst people that are in the alliance and kind of working with that alliance.
Yeah, but they just seem so hyper fixated on challenge threats, and Marvin and Kennedy have proven to be two of the better challengers in the house, and Hot Girl Chris has made it very well known that he's not going to do anything really physical in the competition. So that's if you're focused on taking out threats because you're trying to win challenges, Hot Girl Chris really isn't the avenue that you probably are going to go.
Right. So with that being said, do you think that, in this next individual portion, Kennedy is winner go home?
I think so. I think that if she doesn't win this, like if she doesn't win the first one, people are just going to target her. I think there's not really much that she would be able to do similar to this episode. If she can win the first challenge and get through a vote, then maybe she can find wiggle room because people are going to have to start targeting someone. But I think that someone other than her, because I think that people are just going to fall on her. So she needs to win it if she's going to make any progression, I think.
Right. So at this point, this 4-person alliance now has half the cap. Like they're making up half of the 8. So do you think they're going to take this? They're going to take it all the way?
The 4 being, who is it again?
It's Thomas,
Thomas,
Drew, Taisha, and Zoe.
Zoe.
It's interesting because the other 4 don't seem to be on the same page at all. They're kind of it's 2 of them, like Jodie and Erica, seem to be working alongside of the 4 because Thomas mentions a 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Kennedy and Hot Girl Chris.
Oh God, it does feel like the 4 is a core 4 that could just ride it to the end. The interesting thing about it is I don't necessarily see a front runner, which would solidify the 4 a little bit more than if someone was like so obviously the person that is in control, or this person just, if they make it to the end, they're definitely going to win. And I don't really see that with the 4. So I think that kind of bands them together a little bit more so than what you would see like in our season of Ascendance. Everyone kept saying Jordan or me, and then the other 2 were kind of there as far as perspectives were concerned, or perception is reality. So I don't see that with this 4. They all kind of seem to be on the same playing field as far as perceptions are concerned. Maybe they're just doing a better job of hiding that they're working together than a big power 4 that you might see in other games. So I could see them just riding it out to the end. I could see it. I kind of hope it doesn't happen, but
yeah, kind of rooting for the underdogs, the people that aren't in there. It's just how it goes sometimes.
I am rooting for those 4 though. It's I don't know. It's a catch-22 because I want to see an exciting end game, but the people that are in the 4 are kind of the people that I'm rooting for too. So I don't know. I have my favorites.
Say the 4, gets to the end with the 4. Who do you think that's smart for within the 4, and who do you think it's not?
I really do think that Thomas is sitting in a really great position. And I think that if the 4 do break up, I do think that it would be at the hands of Thomas. And I think that it would be intelligent because he's going to think it through. I think that's, again, going back to him picking the teams. He picked someone to try to pull them in closer and then picked a target. Had they gone to the vote, I do think that Kennedy would have been out. I don't think that, even if it was Kennedy and Marvin, I think that they would have taken Kennedy over Marvin out. So I think that he made a very intelligent decision in this episode, and I think moving forward, he's going to continue to do so. So I do think that strategically, he's in kind of the power position. I do also see Zoe sitting really pretty, just because Zoe and Drew actually both have been pretty honest with the people that are getting voted off. Drew went up and told Marvin tonight And I mean, Zoe did last week, but it didn't really work out as well since Kennedy played the power. But I think that it's very, if you know that you can tell someone and you are still going to remain safe, it definitely happy jury member sending them out there. It definitely works in your favor. Actually, has the jury been watching the votes? I haven't seen them pop in.
I believe they are sequestered. I don't think they watch the votes, but I don't know for sure
Okay.
on that. The jury is made up of Carson, Wesley, and now Marvin.
Mhm.
But I was going to ask, 2 powers played tonight. The only one that I think's left is a pendant of power. I think there might be one. I'm not
Who
gonna
has
lie,
it?
I didn't realize either of these powers were in play. I
I
must
didn't
have
know
missed
Hawker
when they
Chris had
got.
one. Did someone give that to him? I think someone else had it and they gave it to him, if I'm
So
remembering correctly.
Chris gave Hot Girl Chris a power for an advantage in a competition. And
Oh,
they said in the
that's what I remember then.
episode that Hot Girl Chris won this at the auction. I don't
Oh
remember that.
yeah, I remember the auction. I don't remember anything that was won during it.
Yeah, I could have sworn that Hot Girl Chris was like, he saw a clue and then he was like, I'm not going to look any further into
I
this.
remember that as well. And that was
But
what that
maybe he
was what
did.
no, because that's the one that
Carson
Drew
found.
found, because I remember it said something about crawling and he was like, I'm not crawling. So that was
So
the
he
one
must,
that Drew found.
okay. So at some point, maybe Hot Girl Chris got another power at the auction that we didn't see. We'll have to go back and look.
Yeah. You let me know.
Link that right here. Um,
Viewers, is anyone popping up in the chat?
Anybody pop in, just leave a comment. Let me know what happened there. But what I was gonna say is 2 powers played tonight. Pendant of power out there. Drew has the last pendant of power. Do you think maybe Drew? I mean, last season you had to play it by the final 5. So do you think maybe? I mean, this is a couple rounds ahead. Do you think Drew's like, I gotta make a move here to stand out amongst this 4-person group? Maybe
Oh, I
try to.
could definitely see that happening. Especially because it's Drew. And I mean, I don't know Drew, but my read on Drew is that he would say, I have a bench of power. I need to make a move to stand out. Even if it's like just showy. I feel like he would definitely think that he's going to utilize it in a way that is showman.
Who do you think could be on the wrong side of that? Say the next week it's easy squeezy, get rid of Kennedy, get rid of the challenge threat. Do you think Drew maybe pivots here at the final 7, final 6, and makes a big commotion with it?
I could definitely see it. I think that, so going back to what we were talking about with Zoe being voted as the all-star, and in my mind she was kind of sitting back and like watching the peasants run around, and she's just kind of like a queen taking it all in. I feel like that is also the game that I see Taisha and Zoe's games kind of in a similar trajectory. And if Zoe's being voted as the all-star for that reason, I don't know if that's the reason why, I feel like people have got to be taking note that Taisha is doing that as well. Her game is astounding to me, because I think I said it the last time, she like doesn't seem like she's doing anything, and everyone's just like, I gotta tell Taisha this. And she's just like, And then her confession, she's like, she's definitely playing to her strengths. She is, again, just kind of keeping her cool. Like, how did her name not get brought up at all? I feel like everyone else was in conversation except for hers.
Also,
So I
side
think,
tangent on that, just real quick. She keeps getting burnt by this instant replay. This is like the 4th or 5th time they play this. It's terrible.
well, my advice to future Ascendance players: don't fall.
Because they will keep playing.
You just gotta be perfect at the challenges, or else they're gonna eat you alive.
I mean, like, geez, how many times we're gonna get this same instant replay? I feel bad.
It's
for
her.
Taisha.
I don't feel bad because it's her only fault. It's the only fault that she has in life. She falls once and they're like, we gotta hold on to this. She's gonna make no more mistakes in her life.
Oh, goodness. Um, but yeah, I mean, Taisha is definitely getting all the information without having to really do much. Some people just trust, trust
Some people
Taisha.
just some people just walk in the light, It's like I think that there's like a marketing ploy for gas stations. I learned this in a marketing class. If you keep it really, really lit up, people will flock to it like bugs into the thing. And she's just walking the light and people feel safe. It's nighttime. She's a beacon of light. They feel safe around her and they
People
just
trust her with their life.
she got voted for that, right? It was a very Suri like confessional where she was like, I don't know, they should trust me with their life, but thank you.
Yeah, that was good. That was good editing. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Drew does with Dependent. I have a feeling that that's going to be one thing that shakes up his endgame for sure.
Yeah, hopefully. I do think that he will, and I kind of want it to be a messy, like
Yeah.
something that doesn't even like necessarily feel like the right move, but hopefully it will do well for his game. But I want to see a little bit of a mess. And based on what people have said about Drew in the early episodes and from our pre-game conversations, it seems like he's the type to make a move that could be a little bit messy.
A little bit messy, maybe, I don't know, screw some plans up later down the line.
Yeah, I
Be
want to
fun.
see it.
Well, shit. I mean, that's all I have from this episode. Is pretty cut and dry what was going on. Marvin, just give Marvin a shout out. He's I think he might be the highest scorer up to this point in my two drafts, because he has found so many powers, won a lot of competitions, made it decently far. So shout out to him.
Shout
Killed
out
it
to
this season.
him. I do want to say
And
that
if you'll, not to cut you off, Scott, if you remember back to the draft, he was one of the two people that was like the last picks.
I do remember.
And
I
he's on
regret
two
not
people's
picking him.
spots.
I regret not picking him.
It could have been your costly mistake, Scott.
It could have been mine. To be honest, though, I don't even know how I'm doing because we haven't had an update in so long.
I mean, if you check the Discord, there was an update after.
I don't know if I'm on the Discord. You haven't been posting on Facebook.
I got
so
maybe
that's on me.
That's 100% on you.
I will admit when I'm wrong, but I will say it hasn't posted on the Facebook, so
I got flagged for posting stuff on the Facebook, spoilers and shit. So I was like, all right, there's a specific thing on Discord to post draft stuff. So that's where I'm posting it. If you guys want to check that out, go ahead, throw some likes on that for sure.
Yeah, link in the
I'll drop a link in the bio for sure.
Yeah, and how to connect to the Discord so that all the viewers and fans can join. Maybe yeah, right below. Maybe I'll see you there starting soon when I personally join.
Yeah, we got to get you a link for sure. But shit, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything pressing on your mind about Ascendance Live so far?
I don't think so. Did we talk about all the people that are left? Erica, we talked about a little bit. Taisha, Zoe, Huckle, Chris. I'm trying to do girls and boys. Huckle, Chris, Jodalee. I'm rooting for Jodalee, my number 1 draft pick. He's similar trajectory as. Go ahead.
Kind of surprised he didn't get voted out last week.
Shocked. I thought for sure I was losing him. I don't know. I guess Kennedy said that it was Wesley because of he just didn't tell her. So that stinks for Wesley. But
speaking of Wesley, you can check out my exit interview with Wesley. We just recorded that earlier tonight. That'll be up on the channel. So you can check that out here. But yes, while I was talking to Wesley, he said, because I was like, were you surprised it was you? Because in the episode, Marvin was like, he gives the pen of power to Kenny. He's like, hey, vote out Jodalee. and she voted out Wesley. So I was like, were you surprised? And he was like, no, I kind of saw it coming. She kind of gave him a heads up while they were like voting that she was going to be voting for him. So
Yikes.
it'll be interesting to see the reasoning on that if I talk to Kennedy anytime soon.
Damn. I feel like he should have voted for someone else then. She was like voting for you.
I think she gave him that heads up when all the votes were cast.
After got it.
So
that's an interesting move. I would have just let him be surprised. But that's me.
True blind
maybe I'm not as nice as Kennedy is.
Maybe she was trying
fuck you. Fuck you, Wes. See you never. But I guess he's on the jury, so maybe maybe it's a smarter
definitely
move.
don't say see you never, because you will see him.
The next vote. Oh fuck, I forgot about you. We talked about Kennedy, so there's only 4 girls: Jodie, Hot Girl Chris. Who else? Drew, we talked about, and
Thomas.
Thomas. We already talked about him as well. Thomas
so,
is like, my winner pick is Thomas, and I was like, who's the last one?
4 girls, 4 dudes.
I know. We love equality.
Equality. Yep. All right, Scott. Well, thank you so much for joining me this evening on Lost at Sea. I always love talking to you, catching up. And with that being said, I'm going to close this out.
Wait, who's your winner pick?
Ooh, right now or from the beginning of the season?
I mean, the beginning of the season was so long ago, so we better do right now.
You're right. Right now, I mean, last week, Edmund asked me who I thought was going to win, and I said Drew Beans. I'm going to stick with it because I feel like he's going to shake some stuff up at the end of the game, and I think he's going to capture some votes with it. He might piss some people off.
Fans.
Capture what?
I said capture some fans on the jury, like
yes,
people will root for him.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Drew.
Okay.
Is your winner picks Thomas still?
Thomas / Zoe / Jodie.
Well, you're getting a little bit greedy there.
I'm gonna pick Thomas though, and then slightly below that is Zoe. Those are my top 2.
We will revisit that at the end of the season and see who was right.
I hope it's me.
Yeah, I hope that too, man.
Thank you.
All right.
On that note.